Hey guys, welcome to our reading lesson for this week. We are in Unit 4, Week 1, Lesson 7. So we are still completing last week's lessons, and today's date is Monday the 23rd of November. We can tell it's reading because we have the icon and the background is yellow. So our objective is to understand and summarize reading by responding to who, what, when, where, why questions, and to draw quick visuals. There are two objectives that you are going to accomplish today. However, before we begin reading this week's lesson, let's reflect. So go back and think about our essential question. That means our priority, our important question. How can other perspectives help us evaluate the world? Okay, you are going to use the answer frame. Other people's perspectives can help us evaluate the world by. Okay, throughout this video, you're going to want to pause and complete the work. Plus, it is an Edpuzzle, so you will need to pause to respond to some questions. So go ahead and pause now and respond to the question. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Once you're done, moving into inferences. Based on the picture that you see here to the right, or if you have your reading notebook, you can also look at page 6. What can you infer? I want you to think about the text. Think about the photo that you see. Pause the video and go ahead and respond to this question. Okay, now you are ready to move on to some vocabulary. Before we can begin reading, I want to discuss a little bit of the domain-specific vocabulary. Remember, if you're playing football, if you're playing soccer, basketball, there are specific words that we need to know to communicate to understand what's going on. In mathematics, we need to communicate the 4 operations. So hopefully when I say the sum, the difference, the product, and the quotient for divide, you can understand that we are talking about the same language in mathematics. So before we read, there's a little bit of words that we need to discuss. The first is mast, which we can see is a noun because it's coded, highlighted in black, which is a tall upright post generally carrying a cell or cells. So here in the illustration, which is a picture or drawing, we can see the mast is this tall post that holds the sails. Another vocabulary word is harbor, which is also a noun, a place on the coast where vessels may find shelter. So this is on the coast here in Miami, and there are boats where they can find shelter when the waters become too rough, or if there is weather coming in and it's unsafe for them to be out on the water. Next, this isn't actually a vocabulary word, but to help you better paint a picture in your head while you're reading, it says real houses perched on logs. So we can see real houses, and the logs are here. You can see that it's slightly raised above the ground, which will help you better paint a picture while we're reading about this in the text. Alrighty, moving on into the guided practice. This is the we do. We're going to do it together. You will need to pause, as I mentioned before, in order to answer questions in the Edpuzzle. The title of our text that we're going to read is called Gold Country. You're going to do 2 things. We're going to summarize by responding to questions, and secondly, you're going to draw quick visuals. The first entry is titled June 18th. While we're reading, it's important to make sure that we know what our purpose is. Sometimes our purpose is for enjoyment. Sometimes our purpose is to find adjectives. Sometimes our purpose is to identify the author's purpose. This time, our purpose is to identify questions. Well, the responses to questions. So we have our 5 question words here. Who is the event about? Your answer frame is, the event is about. Question 2, what is the event? Your answer frame, the event is about, and make sure this is the what, not the who. Question 3, when did this event happen? Your answer frame, this event happened on. Question 4, where did the event happen? Your answer frame, the event happened in. And lastly, question 5, why did this event happen? Your answer frame, the event happened because. So again, we are looking for responses to these questions in the text. We will annotate them by highlighting in our text on page 6. You're also going to draw some quick visuals to summarize the text. Please remember, this is not an art lesson. Our objective is to draw a visual that is quick to help you make connections to what you have read so you are better able to summarize it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and toggle over to our document camera so we can see the text. Okay, here